Welcome back to the farm, y'all. We are prepping for a cold snap, and in a few days it looks like we are going to get very cold temperatures below freezing here in North Carolina. That's, fairly common in the winter months, but a very cold freezing temperatures with rain. It looks like the rain will be here first thing in the morning in a couple days. So it's icy conditions, and that's paired with some high winds. So we are going to be prepping for potential power outages and just a lot of frozen water issues. And so that is what we're going to be doing today. And in addition to walking around here and getting prepped for that, we will kind of touch base on maybe some plans for certain areas that we have for the spring. So we've been brainstorming a little bit. The nights have been cold and dark, and that is a great way for us to sit down and put pen to paper and start thinking about spring, our first spring here on the farm. So as far as the chickens are concerned, we're just basically rotating their waterers in the house, and one is going to stay in the house all the time and the other one will be outside. So we will just press the easy button on that as far as their water is concerned. In regards to our animals staying warm, the animals here are made for it. We tend to humanize animals sometimes, and just because we're cold doesn't mean necessarily that they're cold. They have adapted to this weather. The chickens have many layers of feather, a fluffy down underneath the feathers that you see outside. The cows have a winter coat. The pigs have layers and layers of fat. The only thing with the pigs is that we try to keep them up out of any kind of muddy area, and so we'll lay down some straw for them to bed in, and that's pretty much it. Our animals all have a windbreak, and that's pretty important as well. But as far as just cold temperatures are concerned, they've adapted. Now, cows and pigs with water is going to be a little trickier, and it's probably going to be us hauling some 5-gallon buckets from inside the house to out here, because hoses are just going to be frozen, and I'm not carrying in the hoses to the house. It's honestly easier just to have all of the buckets inside to fill up as we go. And we have a lot of 5-gallon buckets, but we will have buckets pre-filled in case the water does go out, because we are on a well. In regards to our well, if the power does go out, we will, like I said, have those 5-gallon buckets with water in them. We have emergency stashes of water, and we do have a generator. So we have a pretty good sized generator. It will not power our entire house, including the furnace and whatnot, but we have alternate heat sources. It's very cold. My lips don't want to move. Alternate heat sources. We don't have to worry about the freezers, because the one freezer is in an outside building, and because it'll be so cold, we're not super concerned about power being out for a day or two. Mainly just heating the inside of the house, keeping the stuff in the fridge cold, and running the well pump. So like a true blister, am I showing up when the work is done?
Pretty much. Oh, you got 5 bags.
Where's the chicken going? What did this last us? A month last time? 3 weeks?
I say it's about a bag a day. It's about a bag and a half every 2 days.
Yeah. So that's actually one of the things we probably want to work on come spring. Woohoo! That wind is, wow, bulk feed container. And actually, with the For Farmers movement, I applied for a grant and got $500 to put towards bulk food storage. So right now we're using this little concrete pad. It's wired, but it's just kind of open. It's got a roof. We have our old freezer there that bit the dust when we had the lightning strike back at the old place. So we're storing opened bags of feed in there, and then the rest of it just gets piled up. But we need more bulk food storage capabilities and feeding capabilities, especially for the hogs. Actually, really only for the hogs. So yeah, that's Brainstormer come spring. This whole building area, we've even talked about siding it and even just making it like a barn. But right now it works really well for food storage. So this property is kind of unique in that it has, maybe not unique, but it has a lot of different outbuildings. So this one that we currently store our feed in, and there's one out back, this red one. They're both wired, and the red one out back even has chain link fence around it, like a run. It used to be an actual old goat barn. So there's a stall in there for goats, not anything bigger than that. We're leaving the chain link run up. Just gonna kind of see how that plays out. Don't know if we'll use it for animals or not, but right now all the hay is being stored in there. We just have the 2 dairy cows. We don't have a tractor here, so we don't have round bales yet. We're thinking about getting round bales in another few weeks, seeing if we can manage that without a tractor. So we'll see. Figure it out. We'll show you. So yeah, the square bales are being stored in that building, and then we have these buildings all along here. And there is power to the workshop. It's currently not turned on. We have to get the panel inspected. And the workshop has a cement pad poured. And then the other 2, one's just a large enclosed carport, and the other one's a shed. And the shed's probably gonna get moved somewhere. So yeah, that's kind of our building situation here. We don't truly have like a barn, but we would like to get there someday. So I have some hungry pigs in the background. Hey, but this area is what we have down right now, a silage tarp, and that is getting prepped for the future garden. The front of our house is a south-facing area, and so the garden is going in the front yard, which is fine. So the silage tarp is down. We moved the chickens up in this area as well because we will be rotating them to scratch, peck, fertilize all this area. And they will then get moved way over there to the pasture B. The cows are currently kind of ahead this way in our first pasture, and that's just where they're going to stay all winter while we get the second pasture up and going. We have a video on that I talk more about that, and I will link it below. We did that a few weeks ago. So currently this is where the garden is going to go. We will have some other garden areas throughout the property as well, but that's just kind of where we're at. As far as spring planning is concerned, we are, not one for making big goals and resolutions the first of the year. We can put them on pen and paper, but as far as acting out those goals and resolutions, it's more or less about just brainstorming, getting in the right headspace, getting seeds ordered, roots and tubers and crowns for strawberries and potatoes ordered, chicks, things like that. Making sure breeding and live animal births and processing dates are kind of set up. It's quite windy. I'm gonna have to hold on to my stand here. And getting all that stuff. Winter is a time to just hunker down, and we are more focused on going through the freezer, cleaning out, bones for making bone broth and making nourishing meals, daydreaming, brainstorming, snuggling up, but also making sure we get this, fresh air. That's kind of mandatory and not really optional when you have a farm. So it's just one of those things where we like to walk around and just envision things, because once the weather starts warming up and the daylight hours start increasing, that's when you start getting that natural feeling of wanting to do. And then that's when we are already in the right headspace. We have the plan, we know what we're doing, we budgeted, we have the supplies ordered, we are ready to go. We are not scrambling come spring. We know what the plan is, and that's just kind of how we work this time of year where we rest but also plan. So this area is our holding area before they get moved out onto new wooded lots. Obviously, they have torn this up quite a bit. And so the plan is that they will then get moved into the woods all throughout there. There will be some trash cleanup. They will also dig up a whole lot of trash. That's just what pigs do. They will find it if it's there, even if it's been buried for quite some time. It's not quite mealtime yet, guys and gals. We do have another set of hogs down there. And what's really nice is we had hiked through these woods the other day, and there's just some really nice areas where we're going to be able to move them, especially come spring when things start greening up. But it is time to be moved. So I'm down here by the pigs, and behind me are these raised beds that were originally here when we bought the property. We moved in a few months ago, and so we prepped this bed here for garlic, and we had planted garlic all in here. And so that bed is going to stay for now. We will probably reuse some of this lumber, but take some of these beds down and, you know, move them somewhere else. We have a patio area out back that we would probably do some raised beds with, like a kitchen garden. So that's just kind of this weird, awkward space. Also, the burn pile and just general farm junk. Is that where that goes, huh? Warm. I'm coming. It's nice and warm in here. Yeah. With the door shut, the sun was hitting it and it warmed up. So this is our barn that has the electricity hooked up. We still need to get the whole panel inspected and the power turned on. This is our grow light shelf, and if we can get this turned on in the next few weeks, hopefully this grow light shelf will stay out here. And this is where all of the seedlings will get started. We have spring plant sales that we do every year. We also start everything from seed for our own garden as well. It's just the most economical way that we can manage the amount of produce that we grow. If it's not going to be turned on in the next few weeks, then the shelf gets moved inside my house. So that's just where we're at with that. Yeah, so Josh is going to get this generator hopefully running, and we can get it tested and get it hooked up, that if with all this ice and wind that we're anticipating does happen and power goes out, that we will have some heat.
Dad, hey, this is wire. This. It has to cover it.
Girls ready for the weather? Take that as a no. What about you, Maple? Tell us how you really feel. We've moved inside because it's very cold out, and part of our planning for this spring is going through our seed inventory. So we have countless seeds, I'm pretty sure. Some of them are quite old, and by that I say over 5 years old. We store them currently in the photo cases in a big box. Hold on, let's keep these closed for a minute. And we're just running out of space that way. It's worked for us so far. In the 5+ years that we've really been holding on to a lot of seeds. So we'll see how that navigates as we have a bigger family and grow a lot of food and grow a lot of food for other families too. So we are going to go through, count kind of how many of what we have. We get rid of anything that is quite old. Part of me says the 4-year mark is something that I'm willing to let go of, especially if it's something that I have a lot of. Please don't. A lot of people will tell you that you can only use seeds that are that current year, and that's just not true. What happens is the germination rate goes down the longer you store the seeds. If you have the ability, you can store seeds in your freezer. There are some seeds that require you to start them in the freezer, and that's called a stratification process. However, storing them in the freezer would extend the life and increase your germination rates versus if you were to keep your seeds like we do at room temperature. We'll then go through and just write a list of what it is that we grow, what it is that we hope to grow, varieties. We have certain varieties that we absolutely just love and that are made for our growing zone, our conditions, our life. And then we just kind of go from there. We get seed catalogs delivered. So Johnny's Southern Exposure Seed Company. My favorite is So True Seed. They're in Asheville.
Oh my goodness.
I visited their store. I've been ordering from them for quite some time, and I absolutely love ordering from them. They also hold a lot of seeds that are that are great for growing in our area. So we'll kind of go through these and do some circles and wish lists and hearts, and the kids kind of go through them all the time. And then when it comes down to it, we'll just place an online order and order seeds. We order strawberry crowns, potatoes. What else? We've ordered garlic from them. We've ordered all sorts of things. They have cover crops, lots of flowers. If they don't have a variety that we hands down just can't live without, Johnny's is where it's at. They're expensive, but we don't place a whole lot of seed orders through Johnny's. Just one or two here and there.
I want to plant this.
Yes, and then we also save seeds from previous crops. We have a pumpkin that our friends from Working Aussies Homestead gave us. I have a video on that as well, and I'll link that below. We saved seeds from that pumpkin because Josh said that they were very prolific and they're delicious, and we hope to grow some of those. So we have seeds from that. We have zinnias. The kids just go through in the fall and deadhead flowers and collect sunflower seeds and just have bags and bags of that stuff. Yes, that's butternut squash. So,
This. No. This
Yep.
is my project. I want to.
So that's where we're at, and right now we'll just dream of warmer days.
I have some favorite flowers.
Hopefully get through this little storm we've got coming. Anybody who's in a tougher area than we are, our hopes and our prayers are out with y'all.
I found some good flowers.
Farming and homesteading, especially in very inclement weather, it can be hard. It makes you second guess everything, but we wouldn't have it any other way. So we hope to see you next time. So in a crazy turn of events, we lost power a couple hours ago. We just got a Blackstone, and our goal for today was to cook pizza on the Blackstone. And as I was getting the dough ready, the power went out. Stop, please. So here we are. I don't recommend making pizza dough when the power's out. Thankfully, I am just using a rapid rise yeast dough. Josh got the generator going, so I have the fridge plugged in, a couple lights, and I just hooked my electric kettle up for warm water for the yeast. But I'm also thankful that we started storing some water for drinking, because I had to use that to make the dough. We usually have the Berkey filled up anyways. Yeah, this has been fun. I don't know where I'm gonna wash my hands. Everything's a mess. There's flour everywhere. But I'm thankful for a Blackstone. Hey! I'm thankful for a Blackstone. I'm thankful for a generator. Yeah. Here we go. Hopefully it's really good. So power's out. I've got pizza dough resting on the counter. They had just fried up some bacon on the Blackstone, and we're gonna add that to our toppings. I've got cheese and pineapple, and yeah, that's about it. Hopefully the power comes on soon, guys. This was not expected at all. It never is, so. Never been so happy. They look great. Farm fresh bacon smells delicious. I just got pineapple ready. I'm about to have us some pizza.